Hey, you right guys, Trophyman to Joey, and today we are not watching anything because I always nearly mess up on that one. But we're going to be ranking episode 2 of season 1 for all the original Skam and all the Skam remakes. Episode 3 is about of Skam Austin is about to air tomorrow, so I try and get these up a day just before Skam Austin airs, or at least just before then. So kind of keeping it week by week. But yeah, I kind of skimmed through all the episodes again. I didn't watch them all again. I've only rewatched in its entirety two of these, which is obviously the original Skam and Scam Italia, because I'm enjoying that so much that I'll rewatch the episode after I finish editing it. But yeah, episode 2, as you know, I've never really been the biggest fan of. I've never, even since the original Skam, I don't know, I've never been keen on the whole cabin episode. I know it's needed to try and set up the drama between the Jonas and Ava character, but again, I feel like I got a bad start with that one because I didn't enjoy it in the original Scam. I know a lot of people do, and that's great. But for me personally, episode 2 is definitely one of the more weaker episodes of the entire show, along with episode 1 as well. So I'd only say two of these absolutely nailed it. One which you might not expect, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with, and then one which is fairly obvious. But we'll start with my fifth favourite out of all of them, which was Scam France. I think this is one of, if not the weakest episode out of all of Scam France. Kind of annoying that it was episode 2, like so early on, to have such a kind of episode, because it wasn't, it wasn't off to a running start like some of the other scams might have been. But what I didn't like about it is we'll start off with the Sana Imani character. She just came across as unlikable, and I said it straight away that Sana's always been very harsh but fair with what she's saying, just kind of brutally honest. But she's never been mean about it. She's never felt like she's being a bully until Scam France. And I'd say all the others she never came across as a bully as well. But Scam France, she did really just come across as a bully towards Daphne, at least for me. And it never felt like that with the original Sana. So I think she's a lot better in season 2, even though she's still not really done much. But I do think this was a really bad start for her character because instantly I just did not like her. It felt very quick. I preferred that they didn't have a whole episode for the cabin. I did prefer that, and that they put parts of episode 3 into episode 2 as well. But even then, it just felt way too quick. Like they were just going through the scenes like too rapid. Yeah, it just didn't feel like it really developed any of the characters. Like the introduction to the girl group being together in that final scene for the first time felt completely flat. It lasted like 2 minutes when the original was like 5 good minutes of them seeing how they all bounce off each other. And it just did not work for me in Scam France. But I think they did a horrible, horrible job. Even to this point, I think they've done a really bad job with Lucas, or the Isaac character. There's nothing there for me. Like, yeah, given in the original, I didn't come out of episode 2 going, oh, I really like Isaac. He seems like an interesting character. But there was something there, like, okay, I don't mind getting to know more about this character. Whereas with Lucas, even to this point, don't care about getting to know him more. I really don't, which kind of sucks, because I've always said it, but even at this point in season 2, episode 6 of season 2, I've said season 2 twice, season 2 in the original Scam, I didn't fall in love with Isaac. I didn't until like a few episodes into season 3, but I'd always wanted to see more of him, and here, I just, no. So yeah, Scam France was definitely the worst. Then I'd say Scam Germany slash Druck. I enjoyed episode 2 of this. I think it was okay. I think it was one of the more shorter ones out of 5. I didn't check the runtime, but this felt like one of the short ones. What I liked about this one is I could see both points of view from the Jonas character and Hannah, or the Ava character. It wasn't like a huge argument between them. There was still a bit of an argument there, obviously, but because they do have so much chemistry, which I touched on in the first episode, it didn't really feel like it got out of hand. Like they both gave their points across, and it seemed like, okay, fair enough. Hannah was obviously upset about the whole thing, which understandably so as well. But I liked how you could see Jonas's point of view from it as well. I like how you bonded more with Hannah as well. Only recently have I really fell in love with Hannah's character. I think literally the last episode I was like, okay, she's a great character now. But this gave you a lot more to kind of bond with her, which I like. And like I said in the second ago, it didn't feel like it dragged out, even though it's still the entire episode being with in the cabin pretty much. I think it went a bit over that as well. It didn't feel like it dragged out, which I liked. So I think Scam Germany, I didn't not like it, but it kind of, because I think it was so similar to the original as well, and there wasn't anything drastically different that I kind of fell in love with. But it was okay. Then I put Scam Norway, the original Scam. So a bit of, I know some people are going to like be flipping their TV. Oh, what the fuck? But I've always said this, that I was never a huge fan of the second episode. Anyway, I think I literally gave it a 5 out of 10, or 6 out of 10 maybe. And I didn't think we needed that long in a cabin. I know it's trying to get you to know what Ava's like as a character and Jonas and how they kind of work off each other, and kind of we got more to Isaac, which I think this one did not best actually, but it did well, the Isaac character. But I just felt like the scenes were too long. And Scam's always, it usually nails it in the middle where it's not too long or it's not too short. Most of the time gets it in the middle, but sometimes scenes do kind of lean towards, okay, this is dragging a little bit. Just trying to be fair to it. Like there's very little scenes that kind of are like that, but I do think some of them were in the original Scam episode 2. And at this point, I remember coming out and being like, there's not much chemistry between Jonas and Ava. Eventually, yes, I do think there was, but as of coming out of episode 2, when I first watched it, I remember being not too keen on them too. But yeah, there wasn't many complaints with this one. It was just the main fact that I do think it felt a little bit long. Other than that, I think it was an okay episode. Then I put Scam Austin, which I know, like I say, people might have a problem with that. Like they just kind of lean towards the original Scam will always top every Scam, which I don't agree with. I don't think that's. Yeah, you're going to go in a bit biased with every episode. To say that the original can't be topped, which I don't think it can. Overall, I don't think the original Scam can be topped. We'll see, but I don't think it can be. But Scam Austin, I do think it actually did its episode 2 better than the original. The main reason being is because they didn't go to a cabin at all. They kind of fit what happens in episode 2 and 3 into one episode, which I think felt really well paced. The second half was a lot better than the first half, because the first half gave you that. I forgot his name in Scam Austin, but Marlon Brando. It gave the kind of chemistry between him and the main character. Even though there's not much there yet, it still gave you a little bit, and that was the first half, which would be the cabin, because they didn't go to a cabin in this episode. And then the second half was all about the girls forming their group. And I think the 2 scenes that we got of all the girls together were long enough. There was enough dialogue. They are all interesting. I think the Ava character is the weakest, but even she, I don't hate. So I can positively say with Scam Austin that I at least like every girl of the main group, at least a little bit. I'd say the Ava and the Sana character are the weakest so far. But the Vilda character, Chris/Joe, is fantastic, and also Grace/Nora is decent as well. Yeah, I just think it did a good job of setting everyone up, and talk about that they're going to form a girl group. Yeah, I just think those main 2 scenes won me over more than anything, because I think it was at the same time I didn't expect them to be that good. Those 2 scenes, Joe won it over though by far. Like, she is the best character. She's fantastic. I can't wait to see more of her. And I think it's cool having a Chris character that's the best out of the girl group, at least so far. Like, that could change, but yeah, I think Scam Austin pretty much nailed it. It did help that fit 2 into 1, so none of it felt dragged out, and it still set that first half to be between the relationship and the main character, which I liked. And then at number 1 again was Scam Italy. Pretty much flawless. I gave this a 9 out of 10, I think, which I even said at the start of that episode. I remember, like, I'm not expecting much from this episode because I don't like the cabin episode, but they nailed it. It was fantastic. I think the chemistry between Ava and Giovanni is beautiful. I don't think they're a perfect couple. I don't think they have as much chemistry as the couple from Scam Germany, but they just feel real. They just feel real, and they always do in Scam, but they feel most real here, I think, and I don't know. They're just exciting. I love them. Ava completely stood out more than any other Ava in the second episode. She stood up for herself, but she wasn't over the top about everything. She just kind of laid down like, "This is my thoughts. You can have them. I have a problem with this," and how you're acting to Giovanni. And he couldn't really argue about it. He was a bit like, "Okay, yeah, fair enough." because she just laid it down in such a like fantastic way. At the end of that episode, I came out of it like, yeah, I love Ava. She's fantastic, which was awesome. It just felt chilled out. I loved the guitar scene on the beach. That was so well done as well. Again, the way she asked Isaac, well not Isaac, but Italia's version of Isaac, if he was up to anything with the girl, which I don't know the name of, but the girl that Giovanni was talking to. Again, she didn't seem over the top of it. She just asked him straight up, which is awesome. It was nicely paced. Like there wasn't a scene that dragged out. And my favorite thing about it was the chemistry or the friendship between the Isaac character and Ava. I think they handled it to perfection. Like just from that moment, you're like, their friendship feels real. It feels genuine. It's the only second episode where I came out of it going, the Isaac character is my favorite. Well, not my favorite because Ava was, but he was my second favorite at the time. He's recently been overtaken by the other girls because they're awesome as well. But even though saying that, he's still in like top 3 maybe. I'd say he might be my third favorite. 100% top 5. I haven't really thought about like my listed characters, but in this episode alone, I thought their friendship worked spectacularly. It was awesome. The music that was playing when she was kind of like leaning on him and he was stroking her, and then the music was playing, and it was just like, oh, yo. I think I literally came out of that episode as well. Like, if we didn't know what happened with his character, then I'd ship them too. But we can't because hint, hint, he might be gay. Imagine if they didn't do that though. That'd be a mad plot twist. Like Ava's actually gay for Nora. Oh, that'd be fantastic. If they did that, that'd be so awesome. But lo and behold, I don't think they will. And yeah, I gave this one a 9 out of 10, which I never thought I'd give to a cabin episode, but it was so good. It was so good. As of recording this, I'm actually waiting for episode 7 of Skam Remakes to air. It's like, it's aired, and I'm just waiting on the subtitled version, and I cannot wait. Episode 6, I can't wait to compare the episode 6 episodes, because, spoiler alert, Skam Italia nailed that episode, and I just feel like, even at this point, I'm like, it's topped season 1 of the original for me. At the point we're at, and I feel like overall it could top season 1 at the original Skam, and it's episodes like this that prove that point. It just, yeah, it was awesome. It was my favourite episode 2 that we've had, and I think most people would agree with that if they were open towards watching it. I know some people just refuse to watch it, which is fair enough. They don't have to be forced to watch it, but I think if anyone's going to watch any Skam remake, Skam Italia should be that one. They do things similar in the story, but they make it different with characters and way they go about certain scenes that it just feels like a completely different show. So I think that's awesome. But yeah, thanks for watching though, guys. They're my listed or ranked versions of Skam Season 1, Episode 2. And yeah, I'll do another one next week for Episode 3. I hope these are enjoyable enough. And I'll see you soon for the Skam videos this week anyway. So until then, thanks for watching. Peace.